Hello, everybody. Welcome. Today's tutorial is going to be a very hello, everybody. Welcome. Today's tutorial is going to be a very detailed one, step-by-step tutorial. Alright. So we're going to be drafting a lapel jacket. Lapel or a blazer, whatever you can call it. It's up to you. I'm going to draw a straight line, which is going to be the guideline. After drawing that straight line, the next thing I will do is to take my shoulder measurement divided by 2. My shoulder measurement is 15. 15 divided by 2 is going to give me 7.5. I'll go ahead now, slant it down by 1 inch for the shoulder slope, because our shoulder is not straight. I'm going to move now to the armhole depth. If you don't know how to get the armhole depth, divide around your bust measurement by 6, then you add 1.5 inch, or you can take your shoulder measurement divided by 2, you mark it. Both ways you're going to have the same answer. So I've marked that point. I'm going to come here like this and mark that 7.5, which is right there. The next thing I'm going to do is to rule a straight line, and take note that we are starting on the back pattern, all right, because we need to draft the back first before moving to the front. So this is the point. I'm going to go ahead and connect these points up like this and like so. Now that I am done doing so, like I said, we are working on the back piece. I'm going to go ahead and mark 1.5 inch for my neck depth. I'm going to mark 3 inch for my neck width. Next thing I want to do is to connect these points up together, just like you can see me doing from here to here, like that. Now that I am done doing so, I'm going to connect this part up, as you can see me doing right there. Okay, I'm going to give it a little bit curve right there. Before I go ahead to do so, I want to just go ahead and cross check it again, that 1.5, which is right there, and I'm going to go ahead and connect this up just the way you can see me doing. Now that I am done doing so, the next thing I'm going to do is to come here and measure up whatever I have at the armhole depth line, divide that by 2. Mine is 7.5, divided by 2 is going to give me 3.075. I'm going to mark that up. Like I said, we are working on the back. So what I normally do to avoid any kind of funny but at the back, or for it the sleeve to look a little bit funny or having that big puff behind, I always just go in here by 0.25. You can choose to connect your from the outside, okay, there's no problem, but I always like to go in by 0.25. Now I'm going to come at the chest. I'll put 1/4 of the round bust. My round bust I'm working with is 35 divided by 4 is going to give me 3.075. I'm going to go ahead and mark that right there. 3.07. No, sorry, it's 8.075. I say 3.075. 8.075. 35 divided by 4 is 8.075. I don't know where 3 came from. So now that I am done marking that point, I'm going to go ahead and connect it up like you can see me doing right there. I'm going to place it up. Then a small curve that I just connect this up like that. You can see, making sure I place everything up. And if you check, you notice that it is deep but not that deep. Okay, so like that. You see, it's deep but not deep. It's perfect. Now that I am done doing so, I am going to mark from the shoulder to the waist. At this point, the back, we don't need the bust point. I'm going to mark from the shoulder to the waist, which is half length. It's normally 15 inch. I'll move now to the length of the lace that I'm working with. I'm going to do 21 inch. I am going to connect it up with straight line, just like you can see me doing right here, like this. I'm also going to come here and do a straight line right there. Now is the time for us to go ahead and mark up our darts. To mark the darts, what you're going to do is to take the nipple to nipple divided by 2. So my nipple to nipple is 7.5 divided by 2 is going to give me 3.075, closer to 4 inch but not 4 inch. I'll mark it up here, and I'm also going to come here and also mark it up here. Then I'm also going to repeat the same thing on the chest line. Remember, this is the back we're working on. We don't need the bust point line here at the back. We only need a bust point line at the front. Okay, so I'm just marking that point up. The next thing I'm going to do is to go ahead now and create up my darts. I'm going to be using 1 inch. You can choose to use 1 inch. You can choose to use 3/4 inch. So I'm going to do let me do 3/4 inch both sides, 3/4 inch and 3/4 inch, making it a total of 1.5 inch. Now I'm going to go ahead now and connect it up to make up the chest line like this. Can you see? The back is very simple as ABC. And I'm going to come here and do the same thing right there. I'll also go ahead now and do the same thing right here. And this way too. This is a friendly beginner tutorial, okay? So now that I am done marking up and connecting my darts, the next thing I'm going to do is to go ahead and put my measurement. I'm going to come here. This is where the hip is going to be on. So I'm going to put 1/4 of the round hip. The round hip I'm working with is 38. Divided by 4 is going to give me 9.5. I'll add 1 inch. I'll come on there here. I'll put 1/4 of the round waist I'm working with. The round waist I'm working with is 28. Divided by 4 is going to give me 7 inch. I'll replace back this 1 inch. Then I'll also add 1.5 inch, making it 2.5 inch. Mark it up here. Remember, whatever you borrow for the darts, you will always go ahead and add it up back. I'm going to come here. I'll be marking 1 inch. Now that I am done marking those points, I'm going to go ahead and connect it up like this, and I'm going to bring this up like so, like that. Okay, this is what we have right now. You can choose to curve the front a little bit right there. Like if you want to curve the front, you can choose to come here like this and go up by 1 inch, right, and curve it up just the front here like this. This is how I like this. Alright, but you can choose to leave it up straight. It's up to you. Okay, now that I am done with the back, the next thing I want to just do, just to kind of blend this up so that it should not be looking funny right there. Alright, so you can choose here to kind of use a princess dart at the back. You can choose to leave it up like that. If you're going to be using a princess dart, all you just need to do is to go ahead and connect it up and make sure that the princess dart you're using for the back is not going to be that one that is too pronounced. So you're going to make something really kind of simple, or you can just choose to use a normal pattern at the back. Okay, So decide what you want to use. Okay, if you want to use a princess die, you can just connect it up like that, but I'm not going to be using a princess die. Everything is quite going to be very simple. So this is the back. Like I said, we'll be using, after that you see why we started at the back first. I'm going to go ahead and cut that off. Like I said, you can choose to make it curvy at the front here, like so. Alright, so you can choose to just leave it up like that. That's fine. It's fine, whatever you want to do, it's fine, baby. So I'm simply cutting this off. Okay, I'm going to move this aside. I'm going to move this aside. Now I'm bring the front paper. So this is the paper for the front. I'm going to move this back for now aside. Now I have my paper right there, my drafting paper. I'm going to draw a straight line, which is going to be the guideline like this. Let me check if everything is going well as perfect. Okay. Hello everybody. So I'm going to draw a straight line. I'm going to roll this line up. This is going to be the guideline. I'll just roll that line up. Okay, now that I am done drawing that line, the next thing I'm going to do is to come here. I'm going to leave about 6 inches downward. I'm going to mark at least 4 inches. Let's just say 4 inches inwards. Okay, so this point here. So I've marked 6 inches. 1, 2. Just roll this line up straight. So I'm going to just go ahead and roll this line up like that. I want to mark it up from here all the way to this point, like so. So I'm going to just bring this point up like this and like so. You see why we'll be needing this extra allowance. I'll just roll that line all the way straight downward. So I'm going to continue these lines up like that. Straight, Anita. So I have this line up. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and draft our part, the front. So I'll be putting the shoulder, take the shoulder, which is 15, divided by 2 is going to give me 7.5. I'll go ahead now and slant it down by 1 inch for the shoulder slope. Right, so let me check it. Okay, you can see everything. I just want to make sure you people are seeing everything. Alright, because I want to, so I've just marked the shoulder measurement. I slant it down by 1 inch. I'm going to move now to the armhole there, which is 7.5, which is right there. 7.5 is right here. Now I'm going to come here like this and mark 7.5 too, like this. I would take and rule that point up, the 7.5, which is starting from here, and I'm going to roll it up like so. Okay, now for the neck depth of the front is 3 inches. If you don't know how to get the neck depth, go ahead, divide your round neck by 6. Whatever you have, you're going to go ahead and mark it. Neck depth and neck width is 3 inch. Okay, I'm going to go ahead now and connect it up like this. I'll connect it up like so. I'm going to go ahead now and connect my shoulder slope. Now I will measure up whatever I have from this point to this point and divide that into 2, which is 7.5 divided by 2 is going to give me 3.075. I am going to go in here. You can choose to go in here by 1 inch. You can choose to do 3/4 inch. Okay, so higher should be 1 inch. I'm doing 3/4 inch here. I'm going to come here like this. I'll put 1/4 of the round bust, which is 35 divided by 4 is going to give me 8.075. I will now go ahead to connect these 3 points up together using my French card. If you don't have a French card, kindly go ahead and use whatever you have. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead now, connect these points up like this, or like so, like that. All right, now that I have that up, the next thing I'm going to do is to go ahead and mark now from the shoulder to the bust point. All right, whatever your bust point is, from the shoulder to the waist, which is 15, the shoulder to the length, which is 21 inch. So 21 inch right there. So if you notice, the front we have the bust point, right? The back we don't have the bust point, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and connect the points up with a straight line and do the same thing right there, straight line, and I'm going to do the same thing right here, a straight line. After doing so, what I'm going to do is to go ahead and take the nipple to nipple, divide it by 2. So my nipple to nipple is 7.5 divided by 2 is going to give me 3.075, which is right there. Closest to 4 inch, but not 4 inch. So I'm going to mark that point up. I'm going to come here and also mark that 3.075. Place it right there at that line, right here. Then I'm going to also come at the bust point line. I'll just make sure I mark that point. Let me just go ahead and mark the 3.075. Then now what I'm going to do is to come down from the bust point line by 3/4 inch. You can do 1 inch, you can do 1.5 inch, depending on how bossy you are. You can even go down by 2 inch, depending on how bossy you are. For smaller size like me, I'm going to do 3/4 inch. Then I'll just go ahead now and roll that line all the way to that 3/4 inch. Yep, like this, all the way to the 3/4 inch. I went down, I stopped there. Now I am going to go ahead now and create my darts for the front. I'm going to do 3/4 inch like I did for the back, and I'm going to do another 3/4 inch right here. From the hip, you can choose to go up by 2 inch. Okay, you can choose to leave it up like that. It's up to you. So what I'm going to do is just to go ahead and connect these points up like this, that 3/4 inch here. I'm going to come here and roll this line up. I'm going to do the same thing like so, and I'm going to come here and also connect this up like this to meet up that point. Alright, you can see right now. After that, what I'm going to do is to go ahead and put my measurement. Alright, here we already put 1/4, so I'm just simply going to go ahead and replace back and put 1 inch. On the waist, I'm going to put 1/4 of the waist, which is 28 divided by 4 is going to give me 7 I took 3/4 inch, which is 1.5, and I'll also go ahead and add 1 inch to it, making it 2.5. And then at the hip, I'm going to put 1/4. At the length, I'll put 1/4 on the hip, okay, which is 38 divided by 4 is going to give me 9.5. All right, remember here you're going to go up by 1 inch, right? What did I even do? I went at the back by 1 inch. I'm not supposed to go at the back by 1 inch. Don't make that mistake. I'm not supposed to go at the back by 1 inch, but I went up by 1 inch. If you go up, means that you're going to be curving it. So remember not to go up from the back. I made a mistake. Not to go up from the back by 1 inch. It's only at the front that you go up, because remember that this back like this, you have to cut this on fold. If you cut this and you're having this curve here like this, it's not going to be nice. So please take note of this. Do not go up for the back by 1 inch. Only go up from the front by 1 inch. The back, no. You maintain the straight allowance. I'm going to gum it so you will not make that mistake, okay? I have to gum it back. So I have I'm going to go ahead and bring this up like this. Now I'm going to connect this up like so. Ooh. So the back is, the front is almost the same shape. Alright, remember I said again, do not go up for the back, please. The back do not go up by 1 inch. Only do that for the front. Alright, please, 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 please. I have to gum that back. So I'm going to be adding my 1 inch for the bottom, the 1 inch all the way to the top, 1 inch here. I'll roll that line up with a straight line like this by 1 inch. Automatically I'm going to have to just line this up like that. Okay, now that I'm done doing so, this part is going to be connected straight to bring it all the way to here, all the way to here. Now that we are done marking our buttonhole, you want to choose where you want your breaking point to be. Okay, so you're going to choose. You can decide for it to be on the bust point line. You can decide for it to be on the waistline, but being on the waistline is too much. So I'm going to mark mine from the bust point line, which is this point right there, this point. Now I have to roll this line. Let me roll it all straight like this. Now that this is my break point, I'm going to roll a straight line to meet up this point right there. You can see, look at what I'm doing here. So you should not go ahead and make a mistake. From this point, I will just bring it all the way to that point to make up this point here like this. Can you see that? Now that I am done doing so, the next thing I'm going to do is to come here like this. I'm going to extend this. I'll have to come here and you can go out by 2 inch. You can go out by 3 inch, depending on how wider you want the lapel, okay, to be. Okay, I'm going to do 2 inch. 2 inch is good to go. So I'll just have to connect these points up like this all the way to that 2 inch. Okay, all the way to that 2 inch, which is right there. From that 2 inch that I've just done, the next thing I want to do is to go ahead. From this point, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do 3/4 inch. You can do half inch, okay? 3/4 inch. I'm going to go in by 3/4 inch as well. So I went in by 3/4 inch, went up by 3/4 inch. I'm just going to go ahead and connect these points up like this. All right, we'll leave that for now. Now we're going to come here. We'll measure up whatever I have here. This is the reason why I said we should drag up the back first before the front. So measure up whatever you have at this point to this point, which mine is 3.5. Move that aside. 3.5. Let me bring this up here down. 3.5. I'm going to come right there. I'll be marking that 3.5, and you're going to take notes. I'm not going to be placing my tape like this. My tape is not going to be like this. Okay, look, my tape is not straight, so I'm going to place up my tape following up this line right there, so you can see in a slanted way. All right, mark that 3.5 all the way to this point. I will rule that line to meet up that 3.5. If you take note, you'll notice that my point which I marked was not straight. All right, I did not place it. If you look at this, is straight. This is straight right there. I did not place it straight. Okay, I place it in a slanted way, pulling up the line. Now from this point, because we want the collar to sit well around the neck, I'm going to come here like this and go in by 1/2 inch. By 1/2 inch right there. Now I'll connect this 1/2 inch to meet up this point. This way your collar is going to sit well around your neck all the way to this point, making it that this line will no longer be needing it. This line here will no longer be needing it. All right, now that I am done doing so, the next thing I'm going to do is to come here, depending on how big you want the collar to be or how wide you want it to do. You can do 4 inch, you can do 5 inch, depending on what you want to do. And when I'm placing that 4 inch, I don't want to place it up like this straight. Look, I don't want to place it up like this straight. You're not placing it straight, so you're going to choose how wide you want it to be. You can choose to make it 4 inch. So I'm going to be going with 4 inch. Look at the way I'm going to be placing it. I'm not placing it straight, but instead I'm going to place it in a slanted way, which is right there. Okay, so if you check, you'll notice that it is not straight but slanted. So I'm going to connect it all the way to that point. All right, now that I am done doing so, the next thing I want to do is to connect this part up to middle. So I will be using my curve. You can choose like this. Okay, like this. You can connect it up like this. You can still do it up like this, depending on what you want to achieve. Like so, like this instead. All right, so I'm going to mark, but the one I'm going to be using is the first one I've just drawn. So like this, you can choose to have something like this, depending on what you want to get. So whichever way you choose to do is up to you. Now we are not done at this part. Normally I was supposed to do that before, but I just forgot. So this, we're going to connect these points up like this, from here to meet up this point. You see what we have just done there? So now this line inside, we're not going to be using this line anymore. Right, this is our original line right now. So you want to, so from here you already have your lapel or your blazer jacket. So let me quickly just go ahead. I don't want people to get confused, because why did I even cut this part? This E, I believe she put it. I don't even remember how I cut it. The most funniest thing I did was forgot. Maybe this is this one. Okay, this. So I'm going to just glue this up. Like I said, I'm going to glue it. I don't want you people to make a mistake I'm going to be doing something different. Like I said, please, I'm begging again and again and again. This part, I'm just going to go ahead and make sure I glue it back. Don't do this to the back. You only have to do that to the front piece. Alright, so you only have to, even though it's not really that glue up, so but I'm going to make sure I maintain the straight point. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut my straight line like that. So I have to go ahead and glue this up to the back because we are not curving the back, okay? We are curving the front. Make sure, please, I am saying this again because I know some of you will still come back again and say, why did you have to curve the back? Look, I made a mistake and I'm telling you not to do so to the back, okay? So this is our pattern. Oh, you look at the way everything is looking. Everything is so beautiful. Ah, my goodness. So it's like a professional. You draft a pattern like a professional. Thank you guys. We are working. Let me go ahead and quickly cut that up. I don't want to take too much of this space. Alright. So this is me cutting it up. Take note on how I'm going to be cutting it up so you do not make a mistake while cutting your own. You can choose to smash that inward if you want. Right? So as you can see, we're just going to follow this up like this. I really wanted to take time and do this in step by step so you should understand and how to go about it. It's not for you to just come and wash, but for you to wash and create your own pattern. Okay? I'm cutting this with a zigzag. So, like I say, that you go ahead and cut it. I still need to get a more drafting paper. So you want to choose which one you want, okay? So if you want the first one, this one that I'm cutting, you go ahead and cut it up like this. If you want the second one, you use the second one. Whichever one you want, it's up to you. Whichever one you want, it suits you, it's up to you. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut this up. You see, alright? This part is just going to go ahead and fold it inside like this. Ah, my goodness. This is beautiful, right? Okay, and this part is going to go like that. but I have something like this. Can't you see that? Can you really see that? Isn't this beautiful? So I cut the other side and you are ready to go. So you can decide which one you want to cut. You can choose to use the first, which is deep, the second, right? The first, which is not deep, and the second, which is deep. So this is the front. The front, huh? We will cut times 2. Okay, we will cut the back just one piece times 1. All right, so I hope that you people find this tutorial helpful. If you do, please do not forget to follow me for more. I really appreciate you all. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you some other time. Bye 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 to my lovely people, my lovely family. If you want a sleeve, I will also do a detailed tutorial on the sleeve. I cannot be doing everything at once. I'll also do a very detailed tutorial on the sleeve, okay, so you get to understand not to rush things out. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you some other time. Bye bye.